The reason I support Bernie Sanders is because of the fact that he has a theory of change. You know, that's a popular phrase now. He has an understanding of like why things are not working in our U.S. Society, and he has ideas like Medicare and health care for all, like changing the criminal justice system, like having access to college for all young people and not just for those who are privileged. He has good ideas about how we can actually fulfill that promise that the founders supposedly put out in their very flawed way, since they didn't really include people like me. They didn't include women. They didn't include black people. But they had some great ideas about freedom and justice for all. He has the plans, he has the passion and the compassion, he has the base of support, which is much more diverse than I think any of the other candidates at this point. He just, you know, we're just in sync. He and I are near the same age, and we were both involved in movements in our younger days as students, and we just, as I said, I've only met him once, so I don't know him. It's not like we're like buddies or anything like that. Like, it doesn't come from that kind of contact. It comes from looking at what he is standing for, what he proposes to do, and what he has done, actually.
In 2016, Bernie Sanders said identity politics distracts from what he considered real issues like economic inequality and the decline of organized labor. Has he changed his view of identity politics? I mean, you say you've only spoken with him once, but what are your thoughts about that?
I think he's obviously changed, and that's manifested in the kind of campaign that he's running. There's such a commitment to having a diverse, multiracial, multi-ethnic, various religions. I mean, I love the coverage of the mosque where people voted in Iowa, and how 99% of the people there, many of whom were immigrants, how they voted and supported Bernie Sanders. But that took outreach from the campaign. That it did not just magically happen. I think that he has changed, and I also think that the term identity politics has been so distorted since we originally coined it. And I should say, Amy, I should tell you what we meant by it. What we meant in 1977 by identity politics is that black women have a right to determine our own political agendas, period. That's all that we meant. All the things that have been attached to the term identity politics in succeeding decades, that's not what we were talking about. And the reason that we said that back then is because of the fact that it was not thought that black women had any particular political issues or concerns that needed to be addressed and worked on. So there's a title of a book, you may have heard of it, it's my book. All the women are white, all the blacks are men, but some of us are brave. And that was the perspective back then, that black politics and black liberation agendas were one size fit all for both black men and women. And it's not, of course, I mean, all black people have things in common and have realities in common and injustices in common that we need to address. And women also, regardless of race, have issues in common, like violence against women, for example, the access to reproductive freedom. But what we were saying is that there are things that we experience who are people who are both and simultaneously black and women, and also other identities, working class. Many of us were lesbians in the Combahee River Collective, so we were really looking at systems of oppression as they interlocked. And subsequently, Kim Crenshaw, the legal scholar, came up with the concept of intersectionality. But as I said, we weren't bad-mouthing or putting down anyone who wasn't our identical mirror image. That was not what we meant. We just said we have a right to shape our own political identity, our own political agenda that comes out of our political identity. That's what we meant by identity politics.